computers. The result? You get hacked. In my Stage Therapy speaker development program for women, we explore the things that hack our ability to speak with confidence and impact the world with our messages. I'll teach you the secret to becoming unhackable. Today, you can get a free copy of the book, Unhackable, Close the Gap Between Dreaming and Doing. You just have to click the link below, get your free copy by paying shipping and handling. My name is Betty Joel Slater. I'm a film and stage producer, an actor, author, speaker, and coach. My passion is to help women use the stage as
I'm Cookie Cade with the Impactpreneur Coaching Network. This workshop will help you through your journey, and I'm here for your success. Let's get started. At the Impactpreneur Coaching Network, we inspire business owners at every stage of development to grow and prosper. The agenda for the course is an introduction and course overview, self-analysis, characteristics of successful entrepreneurs, small business failures and success, finding your space, risk, thinking like an entrepreneur, time management, and planning. Getting to know you. Who are you exactly? What makes you so amazing that you would like to create opportunities? What is your business idea and how did you come up with it? Was it something that you're passionate about? Is it something that someone led you to think that you wanted to do? You have to figure these things out. What's your motivation and your why? Is this a passion that you're motivated to do, or is it something you're just wanting to make money doing? Why is this important to you? Why did you start your business, or why do you want to own a business or wish to start a business? These are things that you need to figure out. You need to figure all of this out prior to starting that business. If you're already in business, you need to have all of these questions asked. What do you hope to learn from this course? These are things, whenever you take a course or a workshop, attend a conference, you always need to know what you plan to gain from that. Any knowledge that you gain should help you succeed. What is one goal for your business? This course is about finding your niche. Success depends on finding, developing, and refining a niche. Filling a need that is not being met. You have to create opportunities for whoever your customer is, whatever the business idea that you have. What are you trying to do that's different from someone else that's trying to do it or have already done it? You have to investigate the feasibility of this business idea. Just because you come up with a plan does not always mean it will work. A lot of people come up with ideas that they think will work. They're good ideas, but they don't know how to follow through and make them successful. That's what you need to try to accomplish. You have to complete your business plan. If you have not already done so, ask yourself the crucial questions. All questions need to be answered. Why are you doing this? Who are you doing it for? When do you plan to start? What are you doing? You need to know all of those prior to, or if you've already began, you need to figure that out now. Find your unique factor. Every business is unique. When I started my business, I didn't think there was a need for it, but it really is. A lot of entrepreneurs have no idea what they're doing. They just know they want to make money. Making money is fine, but if you're in it for the wrong reason, which is just to make money, more than likely you will not be successful. You have to always think positive, look at the big picture, and look outside the box in order to succeed. Planning helps you define what differentiates your business from others. If you plan ahead, go ahead, have your business plan, answer those crucial questions. You'll be ready for any obstacle that comes before you. Your most important asset. What is the one thing that your business has that no other business has? Think about it. You must think really hard about whatever you plan to do. Or if you've already started, what are you doing so different from everybody else? McDonald's and Burger King sell hamburgers. They're the same entity. However, McDonald's has the Big Mac, Burger King has the Whopper. They're basically the same thing, but the taste is different. You have to figure out what you're doing that's different from the other business if you're not creating something so unique. Self-analysis. Are you sure you want to do this? Are you a self-starter? You cannot be mediocre and expect results. You gotta be motivated enough to want to do everything. You can't wait on anybody else. You've gotta be a self-starter. Do you get along with different personalities? Everyone don't. Everybody's not designed to be an entrepreneur. You have to know how to treat people, how to communicate with people, how to accept criticism. All criticism is not bad. You learn from the negative and you turn it into a positive. Do you have physical and emotional stamina? You've got to be ready for the journey, whatever it takes. If you plan to do this and be an entrepreneur, you've got to be ready for it. Whatever you do today determines your tomorrow. Are you good at making decisions? Some people are not. Some people like for others to help them decide. You've got to move quick and think quick when you're an entrepreneur. A lot of times you don't have time to think or assess anything. You've got to be ready for action at the spur of the moment. How well do you plan and organize? You've got to get yourself organized. I was one of those people that was very unorganized. I wanted to do this, do that, Sometimes I think I'm ADD. I was doing so much. I would not plan, or I'd put something on the calendar, then I'd forget about that because I didn't check my calendar. Now I do everything with my calendar. If it's not on my calendar and I don't get a reminder, it does not get done. I have to make sure that I stick by my calendar. If I plan something that's outside of work, I make sure that I allot enough time for that. You have to allot enough time for meetings, whatever is included in your business. You have to plan and be organized. That's very important. Is your drive strong enough to maintain your motivation? You gotta stay motivated. No matter what you do, you gotta stay motivated. If you plan to be successful, you gotta commit to that idea and stick to it. No matter what happened, no matter what's going on, you never allow anything to steal your motivation, because this is something you want and you've got to do it. How will the business affect your family? That's a biggie. You have to plan for family time. You have to plan for your business. You always commit to whatever you're doing. If you tell your family that you'll be off on a Saturday and something comes up, if it's very crucial and you cannot afford to miss it, schedule around it. See if you can schedule another time. If not, take the time, plan out a quick meeting, take care of that, and get back to your family. Family is very important. You don't want to lose your family because of some idea that you had and you think you can make this money. Money is not everything. Family is important. The characteristics of a successful entrepreneur. Passion. You have got to have the passion for this idea. Whatever you committed to, you have got to have the passion for it. You always think, I'm committed, I'm going to do whatever, and I'm going to devote myself all the way. You've got to be persistent in doing this. You've got to always strive to make things happen no matter what. Good health, high energy. Take time and exercise. Take time and meditate. Whatever your good health habit is, make sure you take time for it. I'm one of those. I'm an early bird. I don't get a lot of rest, but that comes from when I had my job. I go to bed late, but I'm an early riser. I'm up early, so I try and get a little exercise in. If it's no more than 30 minutes, whatever it takes. Even if I'm at the office, I'll stand up, walk in place, whatever it takes, as long as I can get a few minutes to keep myself healthy. I try to eat healthy, but that doesn't always pan out. Whatever it takes to keep your high energy level up, because you've got to be ready for whatever you're doing in your business. Creative and innovative. Now that's an area I'm not good at. I'll tell people, I let people do what they do. I'm not a creator, so I know this. I already know this, but I don't mind asking for help when I need it. I'm very independent and self-motivated. I don't need a lot of people to help me decide if this is what I want to do. I'm very independent. And sometimes my husband tell me I'm too independent. But I guess I was brought up that way, and I don't know any other way. But it's a good characteristic for me. Intuitive. You have got to know what you're doing. Be aware of whatever it is, and get immediate understanding. Self-confidence comes from knowing what you're doing. If you decide you want to make widgets, make the widgets. Know in your heart that you can make those widgets and be good at making widgets. If you're confident and believe in yourself, if you're selling a product, you can sell that product because your confidence is so high that people will believe in your product. And you have to make them believe. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. You have to have the desire to work hard. Hard work has never hurt anybody. If you plan to be successful, you wouldn't mind working hard. Resourceful. You've got to be resourceful. I always tell my clients, if I don't know, I know somebody that know. I have a large network, and it really doesn't matter what it is. 9 times out of 10, I know somebody that can help with whatever the issue is that come up. Build your network so you can have the resources. It doesn't always mean resourceful as far as money. If you have someone that you can count on to help you out with whatever the issue is, that's a good resource. Personal initiative. You have got to take whatever action is necessary to overcome the barriers, any setbacks, or whatever it is to reach your goal. You don't want anything to hinder you from reaching your goal. There's 6 steps that you can take to develop your own initiative. Develop a career plan. Build your self-confidence. Spot opportunities and potential improvements. Check your idea. Develop persistence and find balance. All those will help you with your personal initiative. Are you a calculated risk taker? I am. I have always been that way. I just figure you can't get anything done if you don't take risks. My sister would always tell me when I was younger, and I think that's where I got it. Scared money can't make any money. She was big on investments, and every time she would tell me about something, I would say, I don't know about that, or I'm not, I don't think I want to do that. But she would always say, scared money don't make any money. And that's true. If you're not a risk taker, how do you know your idea is going to succeed? Everybody's not going to be on board with you. So you've got to take a chance on your idea. Because, like I said, if you don't believe in your idea or your business, nobody else will. A lot of times you need to assess whatever the pros and cons are. But in the long run, most of the time, it ends up being very good. Vision. Do you have a vision for growth or success? You've got to decide, is this something I want? Do I see it? Can I see the big picture? Inquisitive. You have got to make sure you are positive. Not always curious, but you can be neutral, but always show interest in what you're doing. If you're high energy strong and you want to really make people believe in what you're doing, you'll ask questions, you will get all the training, you will do whatever is necessary with confidence to be successful. Strong driving to achieve. When I was 12, I wanted to learn to type. Someone gave my mom an old typewriter, and I picked on it. I learned to type on that typewriter, but I wasn't doing it the correct way. My mom said, unless you learn that keyboard, you won't learn to type. So I had a drive to achieve typing. I really wanted to learn because that was something I didn't know anything about typing then, and it was an old typewriter, the kind you pick. I finally learned, but I had a drive. I typed every day. That gave me the determination to want to do more. That drive is something that everybody don't possess because they're not in it for the right reason. You got to possess that drive to want to succeed. Are you highly reliable? You got to be trustworthy, because in all of my years of doing business, I'm a strong believer. If you tell someone that you'll do something or you'll provide something for them, you've got to do what you say. And all you have to give a person and keep yourself is your word. If you can't keep that, you don't have anything to give anybody. And you've got to be realistic. I know I can't be a rocket scientist. Number one, I don't like science. I'm afraid of heights. So I cannot say I'm going to produce this rocket because I know nothing about rockets. I know a little about science, but not enough to make a rocket. Being realistic is very important whenever you're doing your business. Commitment is a big one. I'm big on commitment. Commitment is the most important part, I think, of any business. If you're not committed, you won't succeed. problem solving skills. You must be able to solve problems. Solving problems is easy, but it's hard. The only thing hard about it is what you make it. And nothing is hard unless you make it. A lot of people don't know if they think that way, they can accomplish anything. No problem is ever too large that it can't be solved. It may take a while, but it'll eventually be solved. Tolerance for ambiguity. You got to be tolerant to for really anything. The entire business, you need to be tolerant for you've got to be open to any other suggestions. My way may seem right to me, but someone else may have a better idea, and it may not take as long. You've got to be tolerant to those that may want to help you, but you think your way is the best way. You know, strong integrity. You gotta have good integrity. Oh, very strong. If your integrity is not strong, you may miss out on a lot of business. Having good quality, good strong qualities and moral principles are very important when it comes to business. People need to know that you have good integrity. The ability to consolidate resources. You need the ability to consolidate resources. That goes a long way. Being able to put things together and get them done, having products or services that your customers need to consolidate is really a good characteristic. You have to have strong organizational skills. Some entrepreneurs refuse to learn. They don't want to team up and get things organized, lead. You must have the ability to stay focused on different tasks. Like I said earlier, sometimes I think I'm ADD because I'll start doing one thing and then I'll get a call and I'll leave that, start doing something else. But then I have to think, in order for me to be efficient, I've got to do everything in order. Competitive. You've got to be very competitive. If your business is one that competes with someone else, you've always got to be planning how you can make your business better. Always. In order to achieve the outcome that you want to get, you've got to stay studied. You've got to focus on what they're doing, know your target, know what they need, and be able to give them what they need. You've got to have a tolerance for failure. Remember, all bad things happen for a reason. If you fail at one thing, try and figure out how you can make it better. Do it again. If at first you don't succeed, try and try again. Never give up. You never lose until you quit. You got to have a sense of humor and fun. Everything is not always so serious. I'm one of those happy-go-lucky people. Even when bad things happen, I can find the humor in it. Because if you don't find humor in some things or make it fun, you'll stress yourself out. And you cannot allow this business to stress you out. That's how you just stay calm and be ready for the next day. Nothing is so bad that you can overcome it. You have to have a sense of urgency. If you have a product for sale and you have a delivery date, I look at Amazon Prime. If they tell you you will have something in 2 days, you have it in those 2 days. Sometimes I order things and I get it early, but it depends on what it is. If you have a product for sale and you don't think you can deliver it on time, at least communicate with your client and let them know there's a back order in shipping or something, but don't ignore. Always treat your clients as urgent. That's how you maintain your business. You always do this for your client. Emotional stability. You've got to be stable. You can't be a basket case walking around waiting to go off on people when things happen. I'll never forget, I had a client. She was a nurse, and she wanted to talk to me at like 11 o'clock at night. I said fine, because that was her hours. I had to be there, and I always tell my clients, if I can't be there when you need me, you don't need me. So I always make it a point. If someone needs me after hours, I'm there, because I'm trying to be there for my clients, and I have the desire to want to do whatever it takes to make them satisfied. You have to be ready to handle difficult situations, handle adversity, and remain productive, all while you maintaining your emotional stability. You can develop emotional stability by getting sleep. You got to get good quality sleep. Practice self-care. You can ground yourself by meditating, or just create structure. Those are things you can do for emotional stability. Goal-oriented behavior. This actually falls in the range of motivation. You just have to make sure that you stay focused on your goal in order to accomplish. What successful entrepreneurs are not. They're not people that take risks without calculating the consequences. Not at all. People that do not look for resources or help. People who are not realistic. People that only desire to be rich. People that don't have a life outside of their work. These are a lot of things entrepreneurs don't think about, because all they can think about is, I have this product or service and I need to make money. And at the time, that's all that's important to them. But that's not a plan for success. Small businesses fail because of lack of experience. A lot of business owners don't have experience. Sometimes they have the knowledge, but not the experience. Insufficient capital, no money. That's a lot of small business problems. Poor location. A lot of time, and I call it cheap. Being cheap is not the best way. Just because a location is inexpensive does not mean you will really gain any customers. It has to be a good location if you plan to be a real business. Because if people don't know you're there, they're not going to patronize you. Poor inventory management, poor internal controls. If you have a product and you cannot supply your customers, you're not going to be successful. You can't buy 1 or 2 widgets and expect to sell them to 5,000 clients. Eventually, people will say they can never get me what I need, and they'll go somewhere else. Overinvestment in fixed assets. Just like you're in a poor location, if you invest in the Eiffel Tower and you know rent at the Eiffel Tower is $25,000 a month, but you only get $1,500 a month, you already know you won't succeed. You may stay in business long enough to get a couple of clients, but at that rate, it's too expensive for you. So you know you cannot sustain success if you go that route. Poor credit arrangements. That goes a long way. You can have bad credit, but poor credit arrangements, you need to order something, you can't get it because of your credit. Your supplier is not willing to extend you any more credit. So you don't have the widgets to supply your clients. Personal use of business funds and poor record keeping. You shouldn't commingle your funds. I tell all entrepreneurs, you need a business banking account. Most clients or customers are not willing to write a check to Jane Doe because you did work in the business of whatever you're doing. They don't like that because they like to keep good records, and you cannot run your household and your business on the same account. I have my account. My husband is an entrepreneur. He has his account and we have our personal account. We don't mingle our businesses together. He has his business account, I have mine, and we keep it that way. You have to keep good records. I use QuickBooks. I like QuickBooks because it does what I need. I'm not advocating for QuickBooks, but I like what it does for me. You have to be prepared for unexpected growth. If you're a small business, you got to think. I always think 5 years ahead. Every year I think I add another year, because you have to have a vision to see where you want to be 5, 10, 2 years, 20 years. Where do you want to be? So you always have to be ready for that unexpected growth. Not enough attention paid to the competition or market conditions. Whatever you're doing, you need to always know what your competitor is, what the market condition is. McDonald's always know what Burger King is doing. Burger King always know what McDonald's and Wendy's are doing. They always keep an eye on Chick-fil-A. Even though they all sell something different, they're all restaurants and they all want to stay in business. So you always have to pay attention to your competitor or whatever the market is doing. If you have low sales, you have to be creative, come up with a plan, do some marketing. But that's not going to help if you're not doing anything for your business. Poor pricing. A lot of small businesses price themselves right out of business. They want the money now. We've got to have it now. I sell pencils. My pencils are $5. I can go to Dollar General and get 5 pencils for $1. You can't overprice yourself out of business. Not enough attention paid to the target market. Who is your target? Know what your target is. Know who they are and what they need. That's how you stay in business. Lack of planning. Small businesses fail because they fail to plan. You gotta plan. Lack of sticking to plans and budgets. Again, if I plan to sell jackrabbits, I've got to stick to selling jackrabbits. If my budget is $25, I can't say, oh, the market is hot now, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. You've got to be willing to say, okay, it's better to sell 5 jackrabbits than try to sell one at $70 instead of $25. Whatever it is, you've got to stick to your plan and budget. You cannot go over. I have a budget sheet that I use for my business. It does not matter if I'm doing something for my house and I don't have the money. I don't go in my business and get it out. I just don't do it. It doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter how bad I want to do it. I don't do it if I don't have the money, because it's not so important to me that I've got to have it. That means my business will go lacking because I took from my business for something personal that I wanted, and I don't do that. And most business owners don't, but a lot of small businesses will. Entrepreneur weaknesses: personal problems, financial situations, too much control, workaholic, not enough experience, communication skills, time management. What weaknesses do you have? we've got to think about that. Whatever weaknesses we have, those tend to control our business, and we can't give that weakness that much power. Why small businesses succeed? They have a clear sense of what they offer. They base their goals on realistic expectations, understand their strengths and weaknesses in comparison to the competition. Focus on correct group of clients, target market, specialize in resolving customer problems, are organized for maximum flexibility. Create loyalty among clients and assure that they return. Construct relationships based on quality. Honest attention to clients. They keep good records and they maintain diligence in costs, prices, and profits. This is why businesses succeed. Not only small businesses, medium and seasoned business. Entrepreneurs take a lot of risk. They risk failure, loss of their own money, because when you start, most entrepreneurs start with their own money. They have many long, hard hours of work. Family problems. If your family don't understand what you're doing, if they're not on the same page, that will cause family problems. Bad timing. The timing has to be right. If you do everything right, your timing will be right. On the upside, reasons people become self-employed because it helps you control your destiny. You can be your own boss. You can do the things you want to do, go places you want to go, spend time with your family. The financial reward, it may not be lucrative at first. Some people luck out and really make it big of one sale. Everybody's not going to do that. But hard work and long hours directly benefit you. The growth potential is not limited. If you're on a 9 to 5, you're only making X amount of dollars. But the growth potential is unlimited when you're self-employed. You have variety, challenges, and opportunities to learn. There's no limit on the knowledge you can gain from being self-employed. You have a creative urge and you do what you love to do. I really enjoy what I'm doing. And if you don't enjoy it, if it's not a passion for you, maybe you shouldn't do it. But most self-employed individuals, some people are just pushed into it, and it turns out that that is their gift. But if you love what you do it. Think like an entrepreneur. How does an entrepreneur think and act? They understand and pay attention to profitability, manage time effectively, behave ethically, distribute scarce resources effectively. They plan, have a balanced personal life, is creative and innovative, and they brainstorm. Always thinking. My mind is always turning because I think of things, I can do this a different way, or I talk to somebody and they give me an idea of something I can do, or something they say will click. The importance of profit. Profit is the positive difference between what you earn from selling your goods and services and what you pay to produce them. If you're paying too much to produce them, your profit is not going to be great. Use your profit as the only measure of success can be dangerous. It's very dangerous. Cash is king. You need to have sufficient cash flow in order to run your operation. Like I say, I don't touch my business account for anything unless it's business related. Businesses should do regular profitability calculations. Understanding profitability makes it possible to administer your resources most efficiently. Bootstrapping. Getting by with as few resources as possible and gaining the most possible with what you have. Utilizing all of your skills and abilities to make your business viable. To finance a new business, you might need to have 3 jobs, take a loan from a friend or family, sell stock or valuable possessions, take a second mortgage on your house. Bootstrapping also means to look for non-conventional ways to generate income, to minimize cost and maximize your earnings. Effective time management. Time management is extremely important. Good time management requires discipline and organization, but it'll help you become more efficient and improve the quality of your work. It always will. If you start before you get up in the morning, think about what you're doing, plan your day, you'll always have good time management. Before I get out of the bed, I grab my phone, I look at my calendar, I look at what I have going on for the day, and I plan around that, and I make everything happen. Sometimes I'm able to squeeze something extra in. Sometimes I may not, but I always make sure I get everything done that I'm supposed to do for that day. The importance of personal planning, that's where the boundaries should be established between your work and family and your free time. I work my time around my husband. On the weekends, I have my grandkids. I try and manage everything around whatever they want to do, because when they're there, that's their time, and I make sure they have me when they need me. The importance of planning. Look at your business as a whole. You use it as a guide in making daily decisions, useful communication tools, and increase your chances for success. Planning helps you see the future business opportunities. Planning can also make improvements based on your re-evaluation and past plans. Planning takes action, not reaction. Planning also gives you the opportunity to ask yourself questions, key questions. Planning is a vital part of being an entrepreneur. Why do you plan? When do you plan? You are always planning. Consistently planning. Before I go to bed, I have my little notebook and I'll write down something that I always have a notebook. I always write down things as they come into my mind. And eventually you'll see where you can use that idea or that thought. The planning process is dynamic. It is not only a reaction to a critical event, it needs to be integrated into your daily administration of your business. It's the key to success in guiding your business through both difficult and easy times. When the pandemic hit, I thought I was just not going to have any clients. I think I picked up a few because people were at home and they started thinking, how can I do this? How can I do that? And they called. It was really, even though the pandemic was bad, it was good for me because it helped me help them. Planning should be flexible and reflect reality, always. You have to plan for it. The pandemic gave a lot of people clear perspective in what they wanted to do. Even though we didn't know it was coming or it was going to be as bad as it was, we had to plan around it. We had to be ready and be realistic about the effects. Now let's talk about you. These questions are the questions that you saw in the beginning. Who are you? What is your business idea? How did you come up with it? What's your motivation and your why? Think about your why, not the how, the why. What did you hope to learn from this class? And what's one goal for your business? If you have questions, please send an email to support@impactpreneurcoachingnetwork.com. That's support@impactpreneurcoachingnetwork.com. Let me help you help you.
For 9 months. But I'm glad I didn't let those fears or challenges stop me, because today I'm a successful entrepreneur, and as a personal empowerment coach, I help entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs find the courage to overcome their fears and challenges so they can achieve the level of success that they really want. We all have fears. Some let those fears run the show. Some decide to overcome them and go after what they really want. Those are the courageous ones. Those are the ones who make their dreams a reality. You can become one of them. You can become courageous enough so you can achieve the level of success that you deserve. Now is the time to book your Courage Boost session with me, because I believe in your of what's good for you. Right now, you may find yourself in a dead-end job that a friend referred you to, or drying up social group that a family member referred you to. My name is Artisha T. Bolding, and I motivate women and entrepreneurs to birth their business, book, or brand. I ensure that you are no longer stuck in life, but thriving in success that's aligned with your passion and purpose. Here's what I know. Now is the time
to take your dream off hold. Now is the time to go from stuck to soaring, paralyzed to popping. Clients who work with me find themselves confident and centered. I'll work with you to find the money in your budget and the time in your schedule to live the life of your dreams. I mean, hello? Go on over to artishabolding.com/coaching, fill out a contact form so that you and I can talk more about.
But I wanted to let you know that I am thankful. I'm thankful for God. I'm thankful for me being alive in this pandemic. I'm thankful for my family, and I'm thankful for friends. So many other things, but they're all encompassed in those categories. One, I'm thankful for my relationship with God. Once upon a time, I come from a family of not only church goers, but I'm also a family of ministers and a family of singers, gospel singers. And so everybody in my family sings but me. I'm the manager. And I just am thankful for my foundation, thankful for what my father and mother instilled in me, my grandparents, believing in God, believing that He exists, and not to offend those that do not, respectfully, just sharing what I believe and how I've been brought up. I am thankful that I know that He lives and that He moves in me. I'm thankful that He has brought me from, as we say in church, a mighty long way. I have been through a lot, as have some of you, but I can only share with you my story. I am thankful for me because I should have been gone a long time ago. I've gotten into some things that I wasn't supposed to get into in the early teens and 20s, but God was with me through it all. And I'm thankful that even in my folly and even in my foolishness, He allowed me to live, and He has brought me to it and through it. I am thankful. Just in my teens, gotten into, with the wrong crowd, spending money unnecessarily on foolishness. Thought I was going to marry someone who wasn't for me, and we'll get to that later. But I'm thankful for my family who has been there with me through it all. And when I say family, I mean immediate family. I am thankful. I want to talk to you today about a subject that is close to my heart, and that is domestic violence. I'm thankful that I have overcome, and for those of you that may know, or if you've read, just recently, 2018, my first book, Overcoming Me, in which I had to overcome self sabotage and procrastination, depression, and anxiety. I'm thankful that I overcame those issues. I always tell people, before you look over in my yard and see what's wrong with me, check your own yard. And that's true for me as well. Before I start looking over in your pond, trying to tell you what's wrong over there, I need to make sure my pond is clean. And so, as a victim of domestic violence several times, I am thankful to be delivered from that. And it is something that we don't often want to share because we don't want people to know, especially, if you come from a certain family, or, or you think you come from a certain family, or you think you're a certain brand, you don't often want people to know. But I am thankful as I look back, and I'm going to keep saying that word because even if you don't care that I'm thankful, I want God to know that I am thankful for all that He has brought me to and through. I am thankful, even, and I've got some notes here that I want to share with you. Abuse is more than physical violence. Abuse can be verbal, it can be mental, it can be emotional. And so while I wasn't beat up, black eyes, I've had friends and I've had family members that were abusive. I have been abusive. And I had to go and I had to apologize for the abuse that I put on other people. We don't want to admit that sometimes we're abusive. And so in my earlier years of folly, I was abusive with my daughter. We want to tell them what to do, how to do it. Domestic violence can even be in punishing. You have to be careful how you punish your kids these days. And some of us, we grew up, the baby boomers and beyond, we were taught that it was okay to spank our children. I'm not going to say that I didn't need it. I probably did need some of the things that happened to me, but sometimes we can go too far. And during COVID, I'll bring it back home to now, working at an institution. I'm at Tennessee State University and HBCU, historically Black college and university, and we see a lot of students. And this year in particular, I'm on vacation right now. So I'm doing this with my vacation, but even in the vacation, I'm preparing to go back to my office and being the director of the Women's Center at Tennessee State. And so when we shut down March 2020, we sent our students, our faculty, and our staff all over America, we sent everyone home, or we were sent home. But what we didn't think about is where we were sending people to. And some students, some faculty and staff were sent to abusive places. Now, this wasn't what I was originally going to talk about, but something just happened to me recently, which is why I want to shift and talk about this now. We sent or were sent home, and maybe you were a wife or a husband that normally see, the spouse a couple of hours a day, but now during COVID, you see them all day. And it begins to get ugly, and there's victim blaming, there's maybe some physical altercations, maybe some words called, because we're in the house every single day, all day, right? And so being on top of someone when normally you see them at night, hug them, kiss them, good night. You see them in the morning, hug them, kiss them, off to work you go. Now you're not going anywhere, and you're on top of one another, and you become angry. And then the children came home. We sent your children to you, and maybe, they said some things. They're irritated because they're not out and free in their residence halls or their apartments. But now everyone's on top of one another, and that can activate irritation and verbal, mental, and physical abuse. And so I want to share with you, because we're still in COVID, even as we speak, I actually had an incident happen to me, not with a family member, but with a friend. And I think because of the stress of everything going on in the world, and have you gotten your vaccinations and so forth, this person spoke me out and said some things to the point where I felt threatened. And I want to share that because it shook me. And I want to be honest with you and let you know I cut that person off. Anytime someone is verbally abusive and they're calling you out of your name and your B's and your H's and other words, I'm not going to go into all those words on a live conversation. But I do want to say, if that's something that you haven't been doing, and you start calling people you're stupid, you're dumb, you're ignorant, you're other words, that's not acceptable. And so when I cut them off, I blocked them on social media. I blocked them from my phone because I felt violated. And this has happened recently. So normally things like this don't happen to me. I'm the director of a women's center. I'm typically talking to other people about not allowing this to happen to them. But because I said something that actually triggered them. So we have to be careful of triggers, because you could trigger someone and set them off. And I said something, and in just a moment, just a very quick moment, it activated them and they let me have it. Well, now people often trigger me, but I try to be in possession of myself and not allow other people to push my buttons. It doesn't always work, even with me, but even if I'm triggered, then I don't want to call you stupid, dumb, you'll never be anything, you're never going anywhere. And I'm talking with students who are saying, you never asked me, was I okay? COVID happened, the pandemic, and here in Nashville, prior to a week or two before the pandemic, we had several tornadoes, and it destroyed quite a bit of the city. So now people don't have homes. They're scrambling, looking for a place to live. and then the pandemic, and you can't leave. You're quarantined. And so I would just say to you, let's be mindful in these challenging times because, while I see everybody's taking off their masks, I have about 25 masks. I got them in the car, I've got them in my purse, I've got them at work, and I've got them here at home. I'm still practicing safe habits because even with the vaccine, everyone has not had their vaccinations. And in working with over 8,000 students, I want to be careful having some extenuating circumstances going on in my life that I don't become sick. But let's get back to the verbal abuse. Anytime that you can threaten people, threaten to hit them, I'm going to do this to you, I'm going to do that to you, you should be very concerned. And then I want to jump to a lot of times and I'm in my 50s, a lot of times we as women, let's talk about women first. In my transparency, I will say to you, I have allowed things to happen because I did not want to be alone. And what were we during the pandemic? We were isolated. There were older people, there were younger people, uh, people that were single, that were in their homes alone for long periods of times, for months, for weeks. And so that can cause you to allow things to happen that you normally wouldn't. So in my case, I allowed a relationship to go too far because, well, if I'm not friends with this person, I'll be alone. It is truly okay to be alone. I would rather be alone than to be abused. And so let us not, ladies, I was talking to a lady the other day. I went to a restaurant and we were eating. She was a little bit older than me. And she said, yeah, I'm in a relationship and I really should leave him because he's always calling me stupid. He's calling me dumb, but yet he's always asking for money. And if I don't give it to him, then he becomes violent. He doesn't touch me, but he's yelling and he's throwing things. And I said, sis, and I could see myself while I was talking to her. I said, that is unacceptable behavior. So we as women, just talking to women right now, let us not be so needy that we allow our friends or our relationships to cause us to stay in something that can cause us harm up the road. And then for men, yes, you all go through the same thing. And I share this on the college campus. Women can be abusive. And I have a young man, and he was like, Miss Wilson, I'm always hearing about domestic violence and how women should be afraid of men. We are afraid of you as well, because if we don't stay with you, if we don't take you out to eat, if we don't give you money, he said, and we're in college. He said, so I'm trying to get a degree. I'm not trying to have a relationship or get married. I just want to be free. I want to be cool. I want to be down. And I think that's most of us. Most of us want to be free. So, in my thankfulness, and I shared with him, I said, thank you for sharing that, because sometimes we as women, ladies, we become controlling. You can't see someone else. You can't talk to someone else. If it's not your husband, why can't he? If he hasn't promised you uh, a rainbow, then why are we controlling and manipulative or abusive, where we're calling men out of their names, we're shouting and yelling abusively, verbally, or then there's that emotional abuse where we don't answer the phone, we go on silent mode. Men and women do this. And so I would just say to all of us right now during this pandemic, let's get a hold of or possess our vessel. Let us not exhibit uh, abusive behavior, whether that's mental abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, or verbal abuse. It is unnecessary and it doesn't make for positive, healthy relationships. And with our elderly, let's talk about them. Sometimes we can be abusive and it is called elder abuse, where you are mismanaging, hurting, or abusing your parents, your grandparents, or anyone else. You might be working with elderly people, nursing homes, assisted living facilities. Let us all be mindful of the things that we say. Think before you speak. because we don't realize how we can trigger or hurt other people with our behavior. And I'm excited. I'm grateful. I'm thankful to be alive. I'm thankful to be out of that abusive relationship that I was allowing because I'm alone. I'm single. I live by myself. And I love being single and living by myself. But we all want love. We all want friendship. We all want companionship, but not to our detriment. Let us be very careful. Let us make great choices in who we allow into our life, who we have relationship with, because uh, sometimes it's not God that sends people our way. The devil sends people too, for those of you that believe as I do. And so I'm very mindful when new people come along into my life. I'm trying to take it really, really slow in allowing new relationships, even with women, because everyone is not your assignment. I just spoke on that the other day on social media. I have not been assigned to everyone, and neither have you. Be very careful, be very choicey in who you allow into your life. But at the end of the day, be thankful, because all of us have great things ahead of us. All of us have overcome COVID. If you're listening to me talk today, you are an overcomer. You are here because God chose for you to still be in the land of the living. And I'm excited. If you want to talk with me further, you can find me under my name, Seanne, Seanne Wilson. You can find me on social media, Facebook, Instagram. Don't even worry about Twitter, because I'm hardly ever tweeting, but you can find me on those other social media platforms, or you can go to my website, www.Wilson, WILSON.com. And again, I'm thankful that you chose to listen to me today. God bless you, and we'll talk soon.
Trending today is the term transformative servant leadership. Well, that's trending. So what exactly does that mean? Many use the term without even knowing what it really means. And it refers to persons, people who are stepping into their calling, who want to do something that they feel God has placed within them, and they have a following. Our work is not based on monetary achievement or developing things that are self-promotional, but it's anchored in serving God. It's anchored in stepping into that gift, that purpose that God has placed within us. And so transformative, of course, means changing, how to make something better. And our actions are anchored in the faithfulness and service to God. It doesn't get better than that. When that's your mission, that's your focus. It is that relationship that elevates us. Now, many proclaim to be transformative servant leaderships, yet what they're doing is serving themselves. They walk around, they've got 20 people following them. You can't get close to them. Self-service promotions that are comfortable, and they're comfortable being served instead of serving. That's not what this is about. This workshop, this training, this coaching is about helping you to step into that gift that God has placed in you. Some desire to be close to God, yet they forget that Jesus came as a servant. He didn't come as, some glorified king who was flaunting his abilities. He came to teach and to help us to learn how to be of better service to humankind. We have to remain humble in our spirit. We have to be bold in our actions, and we have to be about serving people and organizations. You see, a great deal of what's wrong in society today is that those of us who have faith, those of us who are into service, are silent. We're quiet. We're not involved. We're not engaged. And we want things to get better. We want those who are serving to serve the people, yet they're not the ones who are about service to people. They're about service to themselves. So if those of us who believe in transformative servant leadership don't engage and don't get involved, if we don't step into our gift, if we don't honor those things that God has placed within us, society can never get better, because the impact that we have is limited. One of the things that I've found is that even when I fall down, I know that I will get up, because I do greatness. I know that it's on my DNA. I can't help myself. I know that when I fall down, I'm going to get up. I'm going to get up because my people got up. I'm going to survive because my people survived. I know that God can take my ordinary self and make me something extraordinary. I know that because he did it for my people. When I look around, I see greatness all around me, but I see it being pressed down because we're trying to fit into somebody else's paradigm. Now, before I get into the meat of this talk, I want to give you your reading list. The first book that I suggest for your reading is A Vision for Change and the Future of America. That was written by the late, great Congressman John Lewis. The second is called The Caring Community. That was written by Dr. Trudy Kibbe Reed. She is the past president of the great Bethune-Cookman University. Excuse me. The third book, of course, is Bethune, Out of Darkness into the Light of Freedom. That is a book that highlights the legacy of Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune. It also talks about the history of her life, and it's written by yours truly, Dr. Evelyn Bethune. The reason that I want you to read these books is because of the historical context and the way that they are able to show us the value of knowing our history. 4 other books that I think would be great for any library, especially the Library of Black Folks. The first one is Before the Mayflower by Lerone Bennett. The second, They Came Before Columbus by Dr. Ivan Van Sertima. The third is The Miseducation of the Negro by Dr. Carter G. Woodson. And the fourth is White Rage by Carol Anderson. These are great books for your summer reading. They're not big books. They don't have a lot of pages, but they are great books with a lot of knowledge and wisdom. They're written for people with great faith by people who have great faith. These books are what every Black person should read, and then you should send copies to all your white friends because they need to know these things too. You see, helping them understand the context within which we operate helps them to understand how we got to where we are, and also what their part of the responsibility of the heavy lifting is. If you don't read, you can't lead. Or as Trevor Otts would say, leaders are readers. If you don't believe it, trust me on this. The limit that you have on what you can express to others is based on the knowledge that you have within you. You see, knowledge is great, but it's only powerful when you share it. Education and deep dive knowledge, not just that surface stuff, is very critical from the very, for the very movement of our community. The transformative servant leader must be well-read, must have a plethora of topics with diverse information, because we serve a diverse community. It's very difficult to step into leadership without having a broad base of information, because everybody's not the same. Everybody doesn't come from the same place. and everybody doesn't have the same background in terms of their knowledge base. So if you're planning to lead the people, you have to know the people, and you have to know the difficulties, the struggle, and also the victories that have been won. You see, everything is not about bad stuff. Everything's not about, who got shot yesterday. Some stuff is about who succeeded, how we got through, how we managed to still be here today, because everything was rolling against us, yet here we stand. Transformative servant leadership. It stems from your understanding that Jesus, once again, as I say this, was a transformative servant leader. And as a Christian, my belief tells me that I'm striving to be more like him. Too often we allow the knowledge of our imperfections to get in the way. Too often we take our achievements and push them aside. We don't understand the value of showing and reaching our greatness. We think that we have to be docile. Well, Jesus was quiet, but he wasn't docile. Remember, when he didn't like what was happening in his daddy's house, he kicked the tables over. Doesn't sound too docile to me. A good bit of what we know, we don't tell anybody. We don't know what anchors us. So we get tossed and torn by the storm. It's okay to be in the know. It's okay to show people that you know. You see, everybody talks about being woke and staying in the now. Well, being in the now doesn't mean that you don't know what happened yesterday, because what happened yesterday can keep you from making the same mistake today. Without the knowledge of our history, without a clear understanding of the power and strength of who we are, what's on our DNA, we don't have a solid foundation to stand on. You see, when I say greatness is on my DNA, I know that. I'm not guessing. I have examples. When I look at my grandmother, Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune, nothing but greatness flowed through her veins. And it was because of her faith. She didn't hesitate to let people know that God was her driver, that she wasn't just, sitting there trying to fly the plane as him with him as his car co-pilot. He was the pilot. She was sitting in the co-pilot chair. She followed his instruction. She didn't make it up as she went along. That's why she was successful. That's why the institutions that she founded, the things that she laid her hand to, are still here 100 years after her entry into this world. The things that she developed, Bethune-Cookman University, National Council of Negro Women, still exist and are still doing great things. And we're still calling her name. She died in 1955, yet what she did in the 30s, 40s, and 50s is as relevant today as it was at that point in time. You see, we're still talking about some of the same issues because we haven't learned to value who we are as a people. We're always giving up the very essence of ourselves. Being a transformative servant leader doesn't mean that you acquiesce into somebody else's reality. It means that you serve the people with the gifts that God has placed in you that are unique to you. It helps us to understand our strength because it helps us get rid of the damage that was done through enslavement. We've been taught to hate ourselves. And if we don't recover from that, we won't ever get over the hump. History in the Making Coaching Network is focused on making you see that clearly, that you are great, and that what we want to do is show you how to do the same thing for somebody else. But you can't do that if you don't know that it exists within you. Use what you have, knowing that it will be enough. When we know our value, we know that what we have what God placed within us is powerful, strong, and life-changing. Being a transformative servant leader means that we use the example of Christ and teach wherever we can. Our plan of action is never determined or based on what's in it for us, but always what is for the greater good, what's good for the people that we lead and the communities that we serve. Just like it was important to know our history, it's even more important to maintain our relationship with the God that we serve. You see, it is in that intentional and determined relationship that we find our strength. The strength of our relationship with God determines the strength of our ability to lead with integrity. There are many examples of transformative servant leadership. Nelson Mandela, of course, is a prime example. John Lewis, who was willing to lay his life on the line for the community that he served. Dr. Martin Luther King, Sojourner Truth, Shirley Chisholm, and even, yes, Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris placed herself in a position of having rocks and eggs thrown so that she could serve her community. I am sure that within that dialogue, there are, betterments for her own position, but her willingness to step out into the darkness and take a position of power to better her community, the people she serves, and her country. That is transformative servant leadership. Think of one person that you know who is truly a transformative servant leader, someone within your circle. Our history is filled with those who were willing to give their lives to the betterment of the people. This is not to say that they did not stumble, and sometimes, I'm sure, like David, fell down, but they knew to get up, to look up, to repent, to try harder, and to move forward. Let's be clear, knowing our history doesn't mean that we keep looking back and not have a vision for the future. It means that we use the strength of our ancestors to help us build and shape that vision. Because you see, it is proof that we can achieve at the highest levels if we believe. Faith is built on believing. There is hope in the future. It is believing that heals us. The word says that you are healed by your faith. All she had to do, that woman with the issue, was touch the hem of his garment, and she was healed. She was healed because she believed that if she could just get to the ground and put her hand on that garment. And it is said that Jesus said he felt the energy flow from him to her, and her body was healed. That's what transformative leadership is all about. When you are a servant leader, you have the ability to heal the ills of this country, to heal what's happening in your community. Some of the skills you need to have: number one, great listening skills. Number two, lots of empathy, because you have to feel compassion for those that you serve. The ability to develop others and to help them embrace their own uniqueness, helping others find their greatness. Being persuasive, charismatic, that enables you to get their attention so that people hear what you're trying to say. My dad always told us there was a reason that God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. It was so that we would listen more than we talk. So always be a good listener. You have to also have the ability to see the big picture, to create the vision, but to inspire others to see it and to believe that it can actually be achieved. Because you see, a vision that seems unattainable will soon lose its fellowship. Encouraging intellectual creativity. This thing right here, that mind, it's a muscle. If you don't work it, just like that flab on your belly, okay, You hear what I'm saying? If you don't work it, it will lose its ability to function. It is critical that we be readers as leaders so that we have viable information to share with others and can point others in the right direction. We also have to put that ego on the shelf. When you walk out the door, leave it in the closet. Ego does not serve us well. The ability to adapt, you got to be able to flow. And I don't mean go with the flow. I mean flow so that you can adjust for the audience that you are serving. Don't be up here in the rafters if you need to be down here on the floor. You have to meet people where they are and be willing to wash some feet if necessary. Have morals and high character, ethical standards, and integrity. There are times when it may get difficult, when you may step outside of your purpose, when you may distance yourself from the Creator, and you might lose your way, but find your way back. Make amends, because God has a purpose that He placed inside of you that nobody else can fulfill. That is your purpose, your calling, and that is where your greatness lies. Don't get caught up in feeling depressed, unnecessary, and irrelevant. That's not what God gave you. So hold on and get through it, because that's what God will do for you. When you are a transformative servant leader, you're going to always encounter difficulties. You're going to always have mountains to climb, rivers to swim, and sometimes broke down bridges to cross. But you can do it. The greatness lies within you. Trust me, I know, because I've broken some bridges, set some fires, fallen down on my face, and had to figure out how to get up. But I did it because greatness is what? On my DNA. Have the ability to bring about change. That takes performance at the highest level. People have to believe. They have to believe that it can change. You want the folks that you serve to buy into what you're trying to make them see. In order to do that, you have to believe that it can happen too. If you don't believe it, you can't convince others that it's going to happen. Trust me on this, I'm speaking from what I know. Which of these characteristics do you have, and which ones don't you have? Which ones do you need to work on? That's what we can help you to figure out. You see, our network, our coaching channel, History in the Making, can help you to find out what is the best you that you want to bring forward. People who know me say that I am relentless. I never give up. I know what it means to be in a hole, and sometimes you can't find your way out. I know what it means to be down there and somebody's shoveling dirt on top of you to bury you. But the God that I serve has shown me just how to shake it off, pat it down, step onto it until I can climb out of that hole. You can't bury greatness. No one can take it away. It is the gift that God has given you. When God gives it to you, it's yours. The only way you get rid of it is if you give it away. Remember, God doesn't need us. We need Him. So when He opens the door, don't wait to see if it will swing wide open before you try to step in. Slide through the crack if you have to. If He opens a window, find your way through it. When He sends out a rowboat in the storm, don't wait for a motorboat. Get on board and start rowing. In other words, pay attention. Use the blessings that you have. History in the Making Coaching Network can give you the opportunity to grow, to be your best self, to step into your purpose, to let others see your greatness. We will show you how to use the tools God has already given you to be the best that you can be. Don't miss that opportunity. What are you waiting for? I'm confident that we can help you walk into the next level because greatness is where? On my DNA. And I know that it's on yours too. It's been a joy talking to you today and just telling you about the power that lies within. For you see, as a transformative servant leader, you can change the world. You can change your community for the better, and you can help your neighbor be a good neighbor, civically responsible, mentally strong, spiritually sound, and what? Willing to share with others. That's where our greatness lies. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Take care and find us in History in the Making Coaching Network. Bye-bye. Love you.
On the power of personal vision so that you can learn how to reach the goals that you have for yourself, for your career, for your ministry, for all the different areas of your life. Now, just go to powerofpersonalvision.com, powerofpersonalvision.com, and sign up for my free course on the power of personal vision. Again, that site is thepowerofpersonalvision.com.
God created each of us with a unique combination of gifts, personalities, and strengths to fulfill the destiny He has created us to accomplish according to His purpose. We are to thrive in our lives and businesses and ministry while creating a legacy of abundance and good works for His glory. I'm Lisa Dale, a contemporary Christian business and life coach, founder of LifeWalk GPS. I help Christians ready to transition from unsure to confident by allowing them to identify the purpose God has for them based on their unique gifts, personalities, and strengths, ensuring they get it right and create the life, business, or ministry that God designed them to be.
Success is in you. Did you know that you were strategically equipped and designed to be successful? Guess what? At the beginning of Exception for all of us, God equipped all of us and designed all of us with purpose and equipped us to be successful. You're no different. You're no different than me. I am a mother of 5 children. Actually, I was a young mother trying to raise 5 children, trying to handle a marriage, an abusive marriage, trying to work 3 jobs, trying to battle being not only a Black woman, but being a woman in corporate America amongst others, trying to balance all of that and still find my purpose in life. I always ask myself, how long would it be before I become successful? When was it going to happen? Why hasn't it happened yet? When is it going to take place? All these questions I beat myself up about, because on the outside looking in, as people who were watching me from the outside, they assumed that, guess what? She has the perfect marriage because they didn't see the abuse in the marriage. She had the perfect life. She didn't have to struggle because I made everything look so easy. She had the perfect job, but they didn't understand the hell that I was going through, trying to always be a step ahead of the game when it came to my coworkers or people that were on my level in supervision. They didn't see that part. They didn't see any of that. Only thing they assumed, because of what society portrays as success, is what they define as success. But me, and when I go home and have to go back to my everyday life, I was broken. I was messed up from the floor up. My mind was everywhere because I knew that God equipped me to do something great. But I didn't want to just do these great things just for everybody else and forget about myself. So God whispered to me one day, and I can hear it as clear as day. He told me, Tanya, you were strategically equipped and designed by me to be successful. But it's up to you to believe that. It's up to you to take accountability. It's up to you to dig deep within yourself and accept you for being simply who you are. You do not have to be every and anything to everybody. You just need to be true to yourself. And when I start listening and I started checking myself and not feeling bad for wanting to be more than people stated I should be, wanting to do more than I was already doing, wanting to step outside of my comfort zone and be in a better place when it came to being more financially stable for my children, being able to provide things that they weren't accustomed to getting, being able to walk away from a 20-year marriage of abuse throughout that marriage, being able to walk away from corporate America, dealing with the abuse of men that I work with that no one ever knew about. God strategically equipped all of us to be successful, but success is not divine or defined by material things. Success is not defined by what people think about you. Success is not defined by what others think you should do and what others think you should be. Success is only defined by what you think about you, how you feel about you, how you see you when you look in the mirror, not when anyone else looks in the mirror. Success is in you, but it's up to you to pull it out. It's up to you to pull it on the showcase. It's up to you to let the world know you did not give me success because God already put success within me. It's up to me to show up for me now. So I encourage you, I challenge you to take accountability, personally evaluate yourself. Take a look at yourself seriously in the mirror every single day, because I had to do that for myself, and tell yourself, I am what God designed me to be. I am what I think about me. I am great. I am beautiful. I am whatever I say I am about me. And until I start speaking positive things unto me, I can't change my situation or my circumstances. So I challenge you, and I challenge all of you or anyone that's listening. Success is not what people say. Success is not you. Success is already instilled in you. It's just time for you to step out on faith, check yourself, evaluate yourself. If you need to get someone to help you with your personal development, seek that help. But get to a place where you can find the ultimate level of success. And the ultimate level of success is a peace of mind. And when you find that peace of mind within yourself, you'll be at peace with who you are. You will be at peace with your inner person. You'll be at peace whatever comes your way. You will find a level of success within yourself, and you won't have to worry about what people think. You don't have to worry about what people say. You can get up and go ahead and start that business. You can get up and go ahead and finish schooling. You can get up and go and be whatever you want to be. But it's up to you to understand that your success is not centered on what other people think and what other people feel or what other people say you should be or where you should go. Success is in you, and you determine how successful you are based on what you allow, what you tolerate, who you listen to. So make sure that you're doing all the things that you need to do, not for anyone else, but doing it for you. And when I got to the place where I was just happy, just waking up every day, showing up for me, just happy being Tanya, and not just being the mother, being the wife, being the employee, being the motivator, being the teacher, being everything that everybody else needed from me. And I started just being who I needed to be for myself. I found the ultimate peace. Now I'm in a happy marriage. Now my children are set up financially where they understand the importance of finding a level of peace so they can be situated and be able to pass that down to their children. So what I'm saying to you guys, success is not you. Success is in you. And don't let nobody fool you. It's up to you now to make the decision to step out on faith and change the things that you can change. And the things that you can't change, challenge yourself to overcome those fears, overcome all of those obstacles. Get up, stop procrastinating, stop being lazy, stop doing the things that's causing you to not be able to be successful. It's all up to you guys now. So I challenge you and I encourage you to step out, do something different, try something different, be something different, love yourself different, service yourself better, be accountable for your actions, hold yourself responsible. It's all up to you. No one can make you successful. It's up to you to make yourself successful. But always remember that it's already instilled in you. It's just up to you to let it out. And the time is now. The time is right now that you get up, stand up, step up, show up, and show out. Not for anyone else, but do it for you. I'm rooting for you. I'm clapping for you. I'm excited about what God is going to do in your life. I'm excited about it all. So I encourage you once again, step up, show up, and do whatever it takes to get you at a place of perfect peace within yourself. And once you get to that place, I promise you, I know that things will start lining up. Success will meet you at the door. Doors will open. People will come. People will pour into you. Lives will be changed. Testimonies will be made. All of this stuff will find you, and you won't have to run after success. Success will show up at your door because guess what? It's already in you. And it's just waiting for you to open the door and let it out so that more stuff can come in. So you guys, find the success that's in you. It's not going to be easy. It's hard work. It's hard work when you have to check yourself and hold yourself to a higher standard of excellence. But it's something that you got to do if you want to be successful, because no one can do it for you. And no one is going to hold your hand. No one is going to be there when you're up crying. No one is going to be there when you're frustrated. No one is going to be there when you're trying to figure it out. So make sure you get yourself mentally equipped. Get your heart mentally set. Get yourself in a place where you're at peace with whatever comes. And once you do that, you'll learn that you can fight off anything. You can battle any obstacle that may come your way. And you'll be able to come out on the good end. So once again, you guys, success is not you. Success is already in you. And I want you to step up and let it out. Let it out in the world, because there are so many people that need to hear your voice. There are so many people that need to know that, guess what? If I can do it, so can you. And I know if I can come from a lot of trauma, abuse, and be successful, why can't you? We're all given the same hours in a day. We're no different. But if you do not apply yourself, if you do not execute, and you do not stay the course, you can't have everything God has already equipped you with and instilled in you. So get up, you guys. Show up for yourself. Show up for your own success. You determine your success. I can't determine your success. Only thing I can do is encourage you to be more successful. But I want you to find you. And once you find you, success will automatically gravitate toward you. So success is not you, guys. It's not you. Success is in you because you were strategically equipped to succeed. And don't let nobody tell you otherwise. You were destined for greatness. So get up. Let's get the ball rolling. Let's start now. Let's start now to get you to the place that you need to be. I'll see you on the other side of Success Boulevard, because guess what? It's all in you, and I'm waiting to see what you're gonna do with it. Thank you.
Through traumatic relationships or divorce, and I help them get to the next stage of their life. I help them figure out the process of going from hurt, going from frustrated, into owning their success and building their businesses. And why do I do this? Because this was me. This was my story. You see, it was at one point where I was married. I was married for 17 years. And it was a rocky relationship, very rocky relationship, ups and downs. You know, we get married. We don't know in the beginning. We get married because we think we're in love with someone. We think that person is going to be the one. We've done our homework, right? We're young. We've figured it out. We have all the answers. They're telling us the right thing. We say, I do. And then we realize that down the line that, wait a minute, I might not have thought this through. You know, things are not going the way I wanted them to go. Things are not happening in the manner in which I envisioned a marriage should be. I envision a marriage where we're going to be everlasting. We're going to work it out and figure it out together. We know we're going to have hard times. Yes, we're going to have hard times, but we love each other, right? And we'll work it out. And then the children come. And then jobs come, finances come. And then you find yourself going through some times where all of a sudden you're being berated. You see, in my 17 years of marriage, we thought we had all the answers. I never figured that I'd be in a marriage and end up in jail. You heard that right, in jail for 2 days, domestic violence. Who wants to get married and then go to jail? Who wants to get married and then realize that the person that you're with is toxic for you? That's not a marriage, but there's no blueprint for this, right? We don't know. We just have to try to figure it out. So I remember one day we got into this really, really big argument, really, really nasty. And the one thing I always said was, we would never, ever, ever do this in front of the children. The kids were the safe zone because they're innocent in the process, right? They don't know what's going on. They just see mommy and daddy. They're loving each other. They're supposed to be there for each other, setting the example. But what they did not see was mommy going upstairs to her room and crying every night. What they did not see was mommy coming home from work and sitting in the driveway, sitting in her car, not wanting to go inside the house. What they did not see was every time they turned their backs, I was crying deeply inside because I was just struggling to figure out, where did I go wrong? Where did we go wrong? How many have you ever felt this way? Have you ever been in a relationship where it all started out really good? You thought you had all the answers. You were doing everything right. You were doing everything right. He was saying the right things. It sounded good at first. You guys were good. You guys are good, going on vacations together, just being there for each other. And then it wasn't. And then you weren't. And then you're looking at yourself, you're turning around and like, who am I? That's the one question at the end of everything is, who am I? because we live for everyone else. We live for the children and making sure they're okay. We live for the spouse, even though they're not giving us what we want. We live for them and making sure that they're okay. We live to make sure that there's dinner on the table, the kids are fed, because you know what? In some relationships, you may be married, but you're not really in a committed relationship. You may be married, but you're really dating because you're doing it all alone. You're doing it all alone. And that was me. That was me. And I could not figure out for the longest what was going on. And the one thing I always say in any relationship, you never say, I would never. You know, we get into this before we get married, like, look, if he ever did that, I will never. Oh, that would be the breaking point. Oh, I'm leaving him if he did. Well, guess what? I was in jail. It was only 2 days. Let's not think that it was something long. It was only 2 days. But nonetheless, I was in jail. And then what most people would say, oh, I go to jail for him, I'm gone. I was there. I stayed. And we do that for many reasons, right? There's no fault, there's no guilt, there's no shame. We should not hold that, but we do it for so many reasons. We do it for the kids, we do it for the finances, we do it for, the life that we've lived, that we're living. We're doing it because we don't have the finances. We're doing it because we can't figure it out. We're doing it for so many reasons, but we stay. But then it comes to a point where you get sick and tired of being sick and tired. You get sick and tired at night. You get sick and tired of lying to yourself. You get sick and tired of showing up outside, putting on that happy face. You know how we do. We go outside and we put on that big face like everything is okay. Somebody asks you, okay? Yeah, I'm good. Everything is good. Husband's, oh, he's just fine. Yeah, yesterday we had a great conversation. But you get tired of it. And that's what I did. I got tired of it. So it was that one time. We got into a heated argument. And it's always over something trivial. I think it was because we were, I don't even remember, it was a movie theater or something or another, but it was a topic, but it was not the issue, the underlying issue, the root cause of what was going on. It was another topic, but it was so many topics, but this was the topic of all. This was the icing on the cake, the cherry on top. And I remember going to him and I said, this is the last time you're going to talk to me in that manner and treat me in that way. And I remember walking out of the room. And at that time I had walked up into the room. He was sitting on the bed and we had just gotten home from the movie theater. Like I was saying, we had just gotten home from the movie theater and I was just, on the way back from the movie theater, I mean, he was cutting into me, into my soul, just really, really going in about something that he was upset with. And I was upset because the kids were in the back. And that was the breaking point. And he went upstairs to the room. I walked up those stairs. I walked into the room and I stood in front of him. And I said, this is the last time you would speak to me in that manner. And I walked out of that room and I heard him shut the door behind me, slam the door behind me. And I heard the cursing of, I was everything except the name that my mother gave me. And I remember walking down those stairs and I felt like the weight of the world was on my shoulders. And I went downstairs and I sat on the couch and I told myself, okay, I'm gonna have to figure this out. I'm gonna have to figure this out and I'm gonna have to make it work, but I will figure it out. And I remember sitting there with my hands in my head in my hands on the couch, feeling broken and powerless. And I said, I'm done. And then I heard someone suddenly say, Mommy, are you okay? And I looked up and it was my daughter staring at me with worry in her eyes. You see, like I said, for those 17 years with my kids, whenever they saw that, I was able to say, no, I'm okay. Mommy's good. Nah, we're just good. Mom and Dad are just having a little argument. We're okay. What do you want for dinner? And change the subject. But that day, no, I didn't. I put on a smile. I said, you know what? No, I'm not okay, but we're going to be okay. And it was in that moment that's when I made the plan. I said, today is the day where I put me first. Today is the day where I look out for my safety. Today is the day where I look out for my security and my kids' security. That was the first time I uttered those words to her. And that was the one time I felt so in power. So what did I do? I made a plan. I made a plan. I came up with a plan. And at that moment I said, my marriage is over. It's done. 17 years, I'm done. So I put together my exit strategy. You know, we can't just do it. The one thing I had to do is figure out what I was going to do, how I was going to do it. And I had to put my kids in the forefront. They were the most important to me at that moment. How can I make sure that I do this for my safety, their security? And that's exactly what I did. I made up my mind and I found me a place. And it took me some time, but I was okay with it. I was okay with all the drama that was still going on. I was okay because I had made up my mind that it was time to go. And I found me a place and we moved. The very next month, we moved. I packed up my kids and I took what I needed. You know, the one thing I say to ladies, when you're going through these situations is the bickering. No need to bicker. If you've made up your mind, no need to bicker over anything. You pack your stuff and you leave. That's it. You want the refrigerator, keep it. You want the couch, keep it. Because you know what? God will provide you with everything that you need and whatever you need going forward. And that's exactly what he did. I found me a place. Let me tell you, I had never slept so good in my life. I didn't realize that what I was missing. I didn't realize that when I got in my bed and that night and was able to go to sleep and put my head on that pillow and slept like a baby. Slept like a baby. Didn't even have all my furniture. Kids had theirs. I was okay with the little bit that I did have because what I know I had was a peace of mind. I had peace and security and I was okay. I was just elated just to be able to be laying there by myself, not having to worry about somebody nagging me at night about what they need, what they want, what they desire that I no longer cared about. I was living the life that I wanted to live and I was so happy. My kids were safe. I was safe. Look, this is the way it should be. This is the way life should be. This is the way I was born to be. I was born to be happy and be okay. I wasn't born to be with someone who's going to bring me down, and neither are you. Neither are you. That's not a marriage. You're not property. But then after a while, I'm living in bliss and I'm good. And then you realize, wait a minute, I went from a 2-parent household to one. I went to a 2-income household to one. Hold on, I got to figure out how to make this work. I got food, clothing, college coming up, extracurricular activities. I had all that I had to take care of because, you know, you may not be getting a lot of financial help when you're in that status, right? But we got to make it work. And that's what we do as ladies. That's what we do. We rise to the occasion. So what did I do? I started looking at ways to make an income. I had a good job, but I needed a way to make sure that I was secure going forward. So I started looking at ways to make another income. And that's when I started to put the plans together to build my own business. And you know, in that process, additionally, is looking for someone that's going to help me get out of that position because I had never been there. I had no one to turn to. I didn't know who can I turn to ask, hey, how do you maneuver through this process of going through a separation and divorce? What do you do? How do you do it? I have all these emotions. What do I do with this? I found myself, even though I was in bliss, I was crying still in my bathroom because I did not know how to process those emotions. I felt violated. I felt lost. I felt confused. Have you ever felt this way? Have you ever felt like your world was just shattered? You were with someone for 17 plus years. That was supposed to be your one and only, your I do forever. And it's gone. And in that moment, I needed help and I could not find help. And let me tell you, I searched high and low for someone to help me out and I could not find anyone. No one. So I finally found a therapist. Thank God for therapists. And I went to a therapist. And then after that, I was like, okay, now what do? I have all these things that I want to do in life. I want to build this business, but where the heck do I start? And I found someone who was actually able to coach me through it. And let me tell you, I don't care what anybody says, you cannot do it alone. I could not do it alone because I was so emotionally with the process, but I figured it out. It took me a long time. Even with the coaching, I had to spend a whole lot of money on personal development, books and seminars and classes, and just so much pouring into me to make sure that I was okay mentally, spiritually, physically, so that I can build that financial fortune. And that's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I did. I built this business for me. And what business is that? I am now providing the services to people who were in my situation and do not have the person to reach out to. I became the person that I was looking for. I became the coach that I needed. I became the therapist. Because let me tell you, in my business, it's not about, I knew what I had to go for a therapist, but let me tell you what I realized that I needed. I needed someone sometimes who was a mother who wasn't a mother, a friend who wasn't a friend, a sister who wasn't a sister. I needed that person that I can go to, put everything in there and not have to worry about feeling judged or anything. Not have to worry about somebody sitting up in here going back and spinning my conversation back on me. I needed that safety, and I became that safety for women. I became that savior. I became that white flag. I became that person to give you what you need to get you to the next level and help you get through and build your businesses. And let me tell you, my ladies are kicking ass out here. My ladies, they've gone through and didn't realize what that the conversation with me, we're going to get to the bottom of it. I'm going to figure out I'm going to help you figure out what it is that you own in that process, because it's no longer about him. It's about you. And it's about you figuring out, okay, what's my accountability in that? What is the lesson that I was supposed to learn in that? That's part of the spiritual growth that we go through, and the mental growth in it. What is the lesson that God was trying to tell me? Because there's a lesson in everything for you to get to your blessing. And I help ladies get to that. And they have had some phenomenal revelations, just like myself. I didn't realize that I was supposed to be this person for someone else. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that I was supposed to be sitting here teaching people marketing and sales. What? That's not me. I was an IT auditor. That's not, marketing and sales wasn't me. But I'm showing my ladies how to do that now, because what I believe is every woman should have a business. Every woman should have a business. Why? Because you want to get to a point where your next person that you're going to be with, because I don't rule out love, but you want to set yourself up so that the next time you are so holistic that you're not putting your all into someone. That person compliments you, that person brings something to the table, but you have to be your own person. You got to define who you are. Who do you want to be in this life? What do you want to do? Everyone has something. Everyone. And what I found that ladies do is when you get into marriages and you don't know who exactly you are, what exactly you want, what exactly you bring into the table, then you're relying on other entities to give you that, and you're coming up incomplete. You're coming up short. You start relying on your kids and living through them, but you're not fulfilling yourself. You start expecting your spouse to do more, but you're not doing anything for yourself. And you know that you should, because we all have these ideas of what we want to do, but we put it on the back burner. Well, it's time, it's time to go dust that off the shelf, and I help you get it. I help you figure it out, and I help you get to that next level, because it's all about empowering you. It's all about you being bold and reigniting the person that you are. I'm going to help you release those pains from the past. I'm going to help you reclaim exactly who you are mentally and physically. Yeah, we're going to get your body right and your mind right, because that's all in one when it comes to owning your own business. And then we're going to try to figure out, what's your financial plan, honey? It doesn't even have to be building a business, because I'll show you how to build a business, but I'll also show you how to get that next position that you want in your job, how to set yourself up for success. And let me give you the key to that right now. The key to setting yourself up for the next level is your mental state and taking accountability for yourself. Now, let me tell you, if you don't do anything else with me, take that with you. Take that. Own your mental state and be consistent in anything that you do. Anything. But let me tell you, don't go at it alone, honey. Don't go at it alone. It's just not. You have so much to give in this world. We have so much that we have to offer. But I want you to declare it. I want you to say, to declare it to yourself right now, that no one else has, right at this moment, say no one else has any control over you. You're going to take back full control over who you are. Take back your control. Speak it, write it out. Because there's a power in speaking and there's a power in writing it out. Declare it. Own it. Take accountability for exactly who you are. Listen, we go through this, and one of the common questions that I get from people is, Tanya, Can you help me rebuild myself? Can you help me figure it out? And my answer is always a resounding yes, I can. I can help you rebrand yourself, because that's what it's all about. Rebranding who you are. We think of branding in terms of, a business that you're running. That's the front end. That's all. I mean, that's the back end, baby. That's the best. That's the residual. You have to rebrand who you are and step into your greatness. You have to figure out, what do I want? How do I want to show up every day? How do I want people to talk about? What do I want to leave every time someone leaves, walks away from me? What's the impression that I want them to have? What's the feeling that I want them to have when they leave, when they encounter me? What is that? We know what we wanted for our kids, right? But for you, how do you want someone to walk away from you? Look, these are the things that we get through. And let me tell you, all my ladies, I tell them, when you leave me, when you come work with me, we are sitting there and we crying on like you're gonna think you're a therapist, but I am not a therapist. But you're gonna get to the nitty gritty. And then building your business it's just gonna go, because you're gonna be so in tune to who you are as a woman and what your next step is. Everything else is just gonna come easy. You just need the blueprint, and that's what I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you the blueprint. In my 3-step process, we have be mindful, we have be well, and be wealthy. And let me tell you, those 3 things, you're building the foundation. It doesn't matter the business, doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter what your next step is. Your business could be your job, because that's a business too. I'm gonna show you how to think about that and how to do that. Your business could be anything. Your business could be staying at home as a stay-at-home mom. Let me tell you, I'm just saying, this should look. The sky is the limit. The sky is the limit. But if you're having a hard time holding on to that negative energy, and you're not quite sure how to get to the next level, the possibility is this, because you deserve happiness. Anything is possible. Yes, anything is possible, because why? Just like I said, you deserve happiness. You deserve that peace of mind knowing that your kids are safe and secure. You deserve happiness, because you deserve to be able to put yourself first and not feel guilty or feel any type of remorse about doing so. Not feel guilty or shame or frustration. You don't owe it to anybody. You don't owe it to the in-laws or anyone. You deserve happiness. You deserve to live a life mentally, physically, and spiritually free. And with a financial abundance, it's so possible. And all you got to do is tap into who you are. You are worthy of everything that you have in life, because you deserve happiness. You deserve everything that you are. So picture that day. Picture a day when you don't feel afraid to go home anymore. You don't feel afraid to walk up to your door, put your key in your door, and know that the people on the other side are so full of love. Your house is just full of love and abundance. Picture a day where you walk up to people outside and they're just like, what is it about you? You're glowing. You just look so good. Picture that day where you can just sit back and say, well, wait a minute, I can show you how to get there. Are you okay? And picture a day when you are just so full of joy that your kids are like, I see the change in you, mommy. Why didn't you do this a long time ago? Or I see the change in you, mommy. I like the new you. Picture that day. It's possible. You're worthy. Like I said, my name is Tanya, and I am a transformation strategist. I help you rebrand yourself, because you deserve happiness. If you want any more information, please follow me. You can get in touch with me at tanyarobinson.net. That's tanya@tanyarobinson.net. And you can schedule your call with me. Call is free. Let's just schedule a breakthrough strategy. But I'm here to help you get to your next level. Remember, Tanya@tanyarobinson.net.